Hello, amateur sociologists. Welcome to week 4 of continuing learning. I hope all of you were extra nice to your moms this weekend for Mother's Day. Moms are really deserving of some special treatment because they have all been stuck in the house, many with you teenagers, for what, a month now? 3 years now? It feels like 3 years. And they've been momming overtime during this pandemic. They really deserve a Mother's Month for what I'm sure most of them are putting up with on a day-to-day basis, especially from you guys. Anyway, Mother's Day is a holiday that is a reflection of the value of treating matriarchs with love and respect. And it is an American folk way to do something nice for mothers on this day. See what I did there? I'm incredible at transitions. Remember, we have been learning about the building blocks of culture. And I get to use my pen again. Check this out. When we talk about culture, we can break it down, as I've said, into material and non-material. You guys know these definitions by now. Non-material culture can be broken down even more. We learned about language and symbols, symbols and language. Language, which is the ultimate human-created symbol. We learned about values last week. Remember, values are a culture's beliefs about what is good and what is bad, what is moral and immoral. And this week we're going to learn about norms, also cultural universals. Norms can be broken down into folkways, mores, laws, taboos. And we're also going to learn about how cultures and societies enforce norms, which is through internalization and sanctions. But let's start with norms. While values are cultural ideals, norms are actual rules to what you can and cannot do in a particular culture or society. Norms have varying degrees of importance, though. So, for example, folkways, it's represented by the F here. Folkways are minor norms. Oftentimes, if you want to think of them as etiquette-based, that people are expected to follow. But there are not severe consequences for breaking them. For example, if you insisted on every night at dinner singing songs about poo at the dinner table, like at least one of my daughters does, you might get a stern look, or you might get a talking to, but you're probably not going to get thrown in jail. Even though symbolically all of our houses seem like prison right now, you're not really going to get thrown in jail for doing that. That's an example of a folkway. Other things like, burping in public or things like that, etiquette laws. Mores are represented here. Mores are important norms that society expects one to follow, and there are more severe consequences to breaking these norms. In fact, some mores are so important in a culture that they get written down as laws. Taboos are norms that are so forbidden that just thinking of them makes one nauseous. Like, for example, in all human cultures, it is taboo to cannibalize, to eat human flesh. See, taboo. Don't talk about it. Societies enforce norms in one of two ways. The first one, and for the most part, we all follow most of society's norms because of internalization. And this is unconscious. We don't think about it. Internalization is the idea that norms are ingrained in us from the day we're born. We are told about them so much. We don't even think about them. We just follow them. Even the most deviant people in our culture, and I'm looking at you, Jojo Siwa, follow most of society's rules because they've been internalized. They're part of our daily lives. The other way societies enforce rules is through sanctions. Sanctions are rewards or punishments for following or for breaking rules. These can be positive, which are rewards, or they can be negative, which are punishments, and they can be formal from an institution or organization, or informal from a parent or a friend. For example, this, you're awesome, amazing job. That was an example of a positive, formal sanction. It's formal because I'm a teacher. I'm part of a formal institution, the school, paid for by the government. And it was positive. I'm clapping because you are such an amazing student and human being. And so that's a sanction. That's meant to encourage behavior. The message I sent with clapping for you is you do such a good job of following the norms of this culture. Please continue doing so. And for those of you watching, if you too would like this kind of praise from a teacher like me, please follow the norms like this amazing person does on a daily basis. So thank you. Finally, this week, we're also going to learn about cultural universals. They represent an incredible truth about all human cultures that have ever existed. Despite how strange cultures might seem to each other, at the end of the day, we all share more similarities than differences. Every human culture, for example, has some type of games, music, dancing, athletics. There's a lot of examples, and you can find them in the book. But knowing that every culture shares these and many other universals allows us amateur sociologists to understand that we humans have more in common than not. And that allows us to be much closer to understanding and appreciating other cultures, and helps to eliminate the destructive forces of ethnocentrism, racism, discrimination. Well, that's all for this week. Have fun learning. And remember, if you have any questions or concerns, contact me via Remind, Schoology, email, everything else. Remember, I have Zoom conferences on Wednesdays. Please join those. It'll be fun to see you. Until then, keep safe and keep thinking. See you soon.